Hey guys, welcome back to Fashion Upcycled, where we challenge the usual perception of fashion and explore how unconventional materials can be transformed into wearable garments. I am Joshua Ogaleye, your amiable host, and with me here is John Oluwaseyi, my co-host.
That's me.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful, beautiful, and amazing time thus far. Shay, would you like to give us a recap of how our week from week one to week four has been?
Well, okay, sure. I'll give you a quick recap and make it as short as possible. In week one, we talked about trash bags and how to make them into striking runaway pieces. In week two, we talked about how ropes and fishing nets can be sewn into different garments. In week three, we talked about how human hair is surprisingly really good as a fabric. In week four, we talked about old coins and currency and how these things can actually be turned into real garments. And just last week, we talked about how paper is how paper may or may not actually be a good fashion design choice. So let's see what we have for today.
Yeah. Today's topic is actually very, very wonderful and a beautiful topic. That was a very, very tremendous rundown by you, Shay. Very, very spot on, precise rundown. Yeah,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
yeah. It's been an awesome run so far. Week one to week five. Here we are. Week six. I agree with you, Shay. It's been a very, very beautiful time here. I myself have enjoyed this program and I'm ready and excited to see what the remaining episode has or this has to hold for us in this program. Yeah.
But I'm not sure they're gonna be ready for what topic we have to deliver them.
No. They aren't gonna be ready. Yeah. A big appreciation to our sponsors for the wonderful, beautiful work that you're doing right here. It's very, very amazing. Yeah. Shay, what do you have to say?
Well, I have to. I don't have really much to say. I thank our sponsors for helping us get to this point, helping us, giving us all the different tips, giving us so much advice, and guiding us through. So I'll just say, thanks a lot for what you've done.
Oh, yeah. We really, really appreciate. So today we'll be talking about use tires into statement pieces. Well, this is a very, very yes, a very, very unconventional topic because what is probably going to your mind should be, um, materials that we used to drive. These are things we used to use when we drive. These are tires, and then you're seeing used tires, worn out tires, now coming to the fashion industry, now coming to be used as statement pieces. As how now? As how? So yeah, but here we see it. Yeah, yes, it's what we see. It's what we have today. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's
Tires. The
yeah.
one part of the car you barely even look at. When you
Yeah,
look at a car, you're like, what? I'm not looking down. I'm just looking at the face of the car. I'm not going
yeah.
to. But yeah, we're going to be talking about that part. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so right now we're going to be looking at a candid explanation of its history. It's coming to be the spot on moments, the spot on years, the important keynotes, key dates to note. Yeah, so the idea of turning used tires into fashion statements, it actually emerged in the late 20th century. That's in the late 90s, they're about 1970s to 1990s. And then we see brands like Berebasso, they use old tires to create shoes which were suitable for wearing by people. And by, like I said, 1970s to 1990s, awareness of this creative concept had increased drastically and stupendously. Yeah,
Well, I would say that it mostly just increased among young people. Adults at the time weren't really fond of the idea. I mean, tires, that's something that only a child would think of. And
yeah.
you'd be right, it was only among very young people that this was accepted upon.
But something else. In as much as it was common among adults, we see that it was only the higher class families, the higher class husbands, the higher class wives, the higher class families that could actually afford to get this juice tires into shoes and the likes. You get so it wasn't. It was actually trending. So it was actually common among the higher class the wealthy families, and it was also trending among the young people. But guess what? by the 1990s to the 2000s, we discovered that the concept of turning something unconventional into one of higher value actually gained more traction, and it emerged more clearly. So people could see it more clearly, people could see it more perfectly, people could see it for what it is and actually even take it more seriously. Yeah.
Now that's what you call fashion industry development. Am I right?
Yeah. So and yes, it has actually made impact on the fashion industry so far. Yeah, it actually made impact on the fashion industry, having to recycle it, having to process it, having to make it available, having just to innovate and just improve, just to increase your level of development, your level of skills and everything. Yeah, it's actually be a wonderful one here. What are your takes?
Well, like you said, it was only by higher class, so I guess they had to actually pay people to actually feel like this idea was something that was worth getting into. But even though but like you said, from the 1970s to the 1990s to the 2000s, this idea got gradually it got momentum over time,
Yeah,
and by
yeah.
and now I bet that it's actually widely accepted. Believe it or not, but when I was in high school, I actually made a table out of a tire. So it's actually something I'm not foreign to.
Yeah. That's actually that's a very interesting to hear. You made a table out of a tire.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, I spray painted it first. Then afterwards, I made the table.
Wow. That's amazing. That's wonderful. That's very amazing. Yeah. So, guys, we'll be back after the break to discuss more and to delve deeper into more insights about used tires into statement pieces. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back.
I think that the healing process is.
Guys, we are back at Fashion Upcycled here. Amazing time at the break. An amazing, wonderful first session where we discussed about its history, a brief introduction here and there. Yeah, it's been a wonderful time so far. So now we're going to be talking about incorporating the reusage of tire into our everyday wears. Yeah, incorporating the use of tires into our everyday wears. In other words, or in more simpler terms, we're going to be talking about how to incorporate, how to, where are the scenarios, where are the circumstances, where are the points where we can actually use tires in our everyday, our day-to-day activities, our day-to-day wears. So yeah, you might be wondering how that is possible. You might be wondering how that is possible, but actually it is more possible, more very possible than you think.
Let's say the idea came of you just cutting a tire up. If you actually think, what could you make from this? But believe it or not, the possibilities of you actually putting this on your wear is actually far more probable than you may think, because it's not just a tire; it's made of rubber, and since rubber is a material that we actually put on our bodies more than we think, it's actually very possible.
Yeah.
And what else can you make from it?
There are vast number of items available here. We have belts, bracelets, jewelries, and even more wallets have been made from tires. So there are quite a number of materials have that can be made from tires. You could also get shoes with tire tread soles, which offer high quality of comfortability. We could also have trainers with this high tread soles, which offer proper and flexible experience whenever you are training. Those are for the sports guys, for the guys are into exercising and stuff like that. And you have quite a number of other shoes too that have this tire tread incorporated into their soles. So yeah, we get bracelets, we get belts, we get jewelries, we get wallets, we get shoes from these materials. Any other ideas?
Well, I have to say, when I'm thinking about it, I guess I could also make a hat out of it, or maybe I could even maybe I could even make a ring out of it in a way. Hey, maybe even a bracelet, or let's say I want to make even a tie out of it. I guess that could also work if you're willing to really broaden your view about it.
Yeah. And you can also get garments, you can also get clothes made from bits of used tire parts, just bits of used tire parts. And these wears are quite comfy and they are durable. I mean it's tire, so they're quite comfortable and they're durable. And yeah, what do you think? What do you think about using bits of tire parts make garments, clothing, and yeah, do you think they're actually comfy and durable?
Well, it's a tire, and normally I bet if you haven't even held, I bet you've never really held a tire before or touched it, just like once, you'd see it's actually very durable and flexible. So, yeah, it's something that you could actually wrap around you. It's something that if you just cut it up in just the right way, it's
Mm.
something you could make out of. I could just take a tire pack, cut it up, stitch it together, and just make a headband out of it. So, yeah, I feel like it's something that you could actually be, its qualities are actually right to be used in fashion.
Yeah. You're right. And then the rebranding of tires to suit our needs has actually really gone far in the fashion industry, and it has actually even spread into other aspects of designing. What are your takes?
Mm, well, other aspects of designing. When I think about tires, and I never thought that it would. When I think about tires in fashion, the first thought came to me, I didn't really think that most people would be doing it, but turns out that some people actually do. There are
Yeah,
actually some notable trends in the fashion industry who have actually started using tires in fashion.
yeah.
Some of them are,
Yeah, we have DIYs for instance, which involves rubber credgy bags, yes, rubber credgy bags, footwears like we've mentioned earlier, and then they have created and been created by small fashion producers. We have shows, we have shows how trend lives beyond art pieces into functional fashion, and we also see notable designs like Izudu that have actually recently started creating ready-to-wear fashion clothing called the tire wear. And then we also have a collection by them called Ellipses, a very innovative way to blaze the trail. Any other ones?
well, yeah, there are some other ones called Mansion Gatino. Is that how you pronounce it?
Mason Gattinoni, yes,
Ah,
and Guglielmo Mariotto. So yes, they use tires and they turn them into creative and functional fashion in a fashion event which took place in Rome, Italy. Yes, this was used creatively in crafting dresses and costumes under artistic directions. Yeah.
well, when I artistic direction, like, wait, direction, where you say that there were like rules to this stuff.
We won't necessarily say rules to this stuff, but we'll say they were, you know, there's a popular saying that says, um, a man isn't a tree. Eh?
Well, I think it's more like a man is what he wears.
No. They said you can't actually fly solo in this life. So there are people that actually help you. You get, yeah. And then a forest is made by just one tree. You get, a forest is made by one just tree, and you can't just fly solo. So what I actually meant by using artistic direction to creatively craft the dresses and costumes was by, okay, he had help, not necessarily, oh, he was supervised or this is or that. No, he actually had help in this, in actually doing what he did.
Uh,
So yeah, what are your contributions?
well, I really enjoyed what we just talked about. There are different people, how they did it, what they used it for, and all these different materials. When you think about tires, I was just thinking about the only table I made. I had no idea belts, shoes, headbands, bracelets, rings, and all sorts of other stuff could be made out of it. And well, when I found out about it, I was shocked. And I bet that's what most people, when they think about this,
Yeah,
they start off out. But believe it or not, when you actually make this stuff and put it on, it's how it will actually be surprisingly comfortable and actually be able to move in something you can actually breathe in. And since it's a material that won't actually decay, it's actually a material that isn't going to degrade over time. It's something that you can wear over and over again.
yeah, yeah. And we also have a host of other designers using avant-garde method just to challenge the norms and try to birth new things. So any final words on this session?
I do. It was delightful. One that I actually really enjoyed. If and I feel like this is an idea that other people should explore as well. Just don't watch us talk about it. Actually go out and try it yourself.
Yeah, we should, yeah. Me personally, I would even take to trying one of these things some of these days, yeah. Very, very beautiful. So, guys, we'll be back after the break to discuss more about this topic. Stay tuned, guys.
The fashion industry has always been a place where subcultures could thrive. And going with what's happening today, I suppose the parallel would be what happened in the 60s. The world had been, for years, it had been in turmoil and trouble, and the economies were bad.
Okay, guys, we're back from that short break. I'm sure we all enjoyed it. Now, we're going to be going into some reviews from our general community about how people actually see the very concept of using tires as fashion. When you think about it, most people wouldn't think that it's actually a good idea. But let's just see what these people really think. So let's get into it.
Yeah, we are actually viewing the positive and feedback and challenges received over the years. So, first of all, the community has been praised by its creative bold step. It has received positive reviews. It has received awesome reviews. It has received amazing feedbacks saying that actually this has been a creative move and they have used it to make waves. So people have praised them, people have said wonderful things, people have said amazing things about it. And do you think that they should be justified to say so?
Well, yes. After all, in this society and this environment where everything around us is not very in high quantity, using whatever you have is incredibly crucial. You can't be picky when you're trying to make something good. It's true that quality is important, but still, you should also focus on what you actually have with you. There's a saying, you need to make do.
Mm, mm.
And even still, there are still some critics out there who don't exactly see the idea of using tires as something that should be actually practiced.
Yeah, but before we go into the critics, we still have a few praises here. Yeah, it has actually been praised because it has used unique aesthetic, which are very very hard to get. These aesthetics are actually very very hard to get, and they have been praised for bringing new things to the industry, new ideas, new innovations, new breakthroughs. Especially when these resources are very very scarce, because it's very very hard to find most of these resources. So we have to actually praise them. We actually praise them enough before we now go ahead to say, okay, oh, this this is what we are criticizing them for. They have to actually be praised for even bringing up
For
that.
finding a
Yeah,
good alternative to what
yeah,
many people can't find anymore.
yeah. So what are some of the criticisms?
Well, when I think about the criticisms, I'm just thinking about the challenges that have to do with using tires. These are things that usually go on the end of cars what people are driving under. So when people think about using it in fashion, I'm sure that their skin crawls.
So you wouldn't embrace the idea of wearing such, would you?
Not exactly. I mean, this is stuff that is driving on the road. All the road that's been doused with rain, with mud, with dirt, with sand, etc. And when I think about putting it on my body, it's only natural that you would feel disgusted by the idea.
But me personally, I know that these things they aren't just made like that. They actually the process of making them. I'm sure they are sterilized. They are really really treated properly before actually making them. But if you say you won't still wear them, I'm like suit yourself. Yeah. So most one of the major issues it has actually had is the idea of it being inflammable. The idea of tires being inflammable, which can actually hinder proper usage and put fear in the hearts of the users. Because if someone is wearing a tire made dress and then they tell this person, oh, this your dress or this your shoe or this your accessory is easily inflammable, the person will be scared. Why? Because it's possible that okay, they could just flame up the person again. So some people are usually scared of such things. So that's one of the main problems, one of the main issues. It's inflammable. It's easy to burn. You get.
Ah, yes. I guess that would also make it hard for them to grasp the idea of why people would actually want to wear this kind of stuff. But But still, even with that challenge, I'm sure that some people still find a way to get through it. Even because in the end, whatever clothes you're wearing, it's still going to be flammable in the end.
Yeah, yeah. And also comfort and practicality has also been a battle as well. Comfort and practicality. Remember last time I mentioned that it was quite comfy and it was suitable to wear. But in as much as it may be comfy for some people, everybody's perspective is different. That's why I asked you, do you think you are actually comfy at all? Yeah, that's why I asked you. So right now, comfort and practicality is a very, very big battle for this thing because it's not good to wear things that one will actually find it hard wearing or things that one will actually find it's an issue wearing. You get?
Well, I think you're right. Since some tire rubber is actually very heavy, it's going. I bet some people. I bet for some people it's going to be hard to be moving around in it. But still, in the end, I feel like whether or not it's the tire rubber itself, I've actually find when I'm using it to create stuff, I don't actually find it very difficult to work with. But I've never actually once worn it, so I wouldn't know.
Mm, mm. And then you see that some of these tire rubbers they can tend to be heavy. They just can tend to be heavy, and most of them aren't so flexible like that. And it's very very hard to like flexibility is an issue. And then some some of these tires, so yes, they're heavy, they are inflexible, and you can't properly breathe in them. They might even conduct heat to an extent, but still we can't close our eyes to the fact that it has actually been an innovative idea. Yeah, fashion and innovation they go together. So I know that things will get better, things will get more more sophisticated, more
Easier to handle.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Mm.
I feel like you're right. Like we said before, there are different ways of recycling. There are different ways of sustainability that are continuing to develop. And who knows? Maybe someday some source might find a way to actually apply a method that will make such tire rubber more flexible and easier to move in. After all, there are other materials we talked about that have gotten the same treatment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's quite it about the challenges and the the challenges, the positive feedbacks it has had over the years. So yeah, we talked about its history, we talked about um um scenarios where it can be used, incorporating it into our everyday ways. Yeah, I think this idea actually goes with books and paper culture that it's only once that you can actually wear them. You can't wear them every day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
one-time thing. And
yeah,
once you do it, you put it away for who knows how long.
yeah. And we talked about the key trends and just where we're coming from. We talked about positive feedbacks, negative feedbacks. Yeah, and yeah, the community has actually praised it as well as criticized it. So I know that yeah, things will get beautiful as time goes on. So once again, I am Joshua Ogelia and this is Oluwaseyi. We are from Fashion Upcycled and here we have actually turned an unconventional material and discussed how it has actually changed fashion as we know it. So guys, stay tuned for another episode. We would love to see you back here. Bye guys.